Hi, my name is David Southwell and this is my SimVenture presentation for STO 100 Assignment 2. My first question was, what have you understood about the contribution and interaction of different variables in business? For example, price setting, quality, marketing, resources, advertising, etc. My group learnt fairly early on that it was important to carry out competition research, market research, and distributor research as soon as possible. So we completed this in the first month. This gave us a good overview of what our competitors were doing in the market with their products and at what price they were selling them at. By knowing this, we were able to undercut other businesses by selling at a lower price, making our product seem more attractive to potential buyers, as well as stealing a proportion of the market from our rivals. We chose the professional sector as my team decided that it was the best compromise for all the variables. This was because we could sell at a high enough price to turn a good profit, and there was enough consumers in the market such that we could sell products regularly without encountering a dry spell, which could potentially damage our cash flow. However, despite making our product cheaper than our competitors and making sure it was what our customers wanted through the customer report, we failed to make many sales in the first 3 months. This was down to our enterprise's lack of marketing, so we ran an advert for 3 months in a trade magazine. After this, our sales were boosted, so we were able to change our supplier such that we got a better deal per component we bought, since we were buying in bulk. This raised our gross profit. The second question was, what was the group's review process in evaluating decisions on price, quality, advertising, etc.? Was the process effective in managing uncertainty? We decided as a group what price we should set for the new product, and we came to the conclusion that we should be £20 cheaper than the competitor we identified through our competitor research. With advertising, we had to make the decision of whether we went for the better reaching radio and TV advertisement or with the cheaper trade magazine advert. I wanted to run the radio and TV advert along with another member of my team. We both saw it as an investment and that we'd recoup the money in sales once we start selling the product. However, my other two team members argued that the trade magazine would be better. In the end, we all came to the conclusion that the trade magazine advert would be better because we simply didn't have the funds to risk at this point, mainly because we had already invested a lot into the product that we had just designed. The trade magazine was also the second best reaching for our target sector and the most cost effective. Our review process was useful at preventing uncertainty because by running a cheaper advert, we had more cash left over to spend on building a better website and research. This extra cash proved useful because we found our advertisement wasn't very effective in the first month after commissioning it, leading to us making a loss as not many units were sold. By having money left over, we were able to avoid high interest overdraft fees for our bank, which could potentially put us further into debt. The third question was, give at least one example of how you dealt with uncertainty in the exercise. Describe the uncertainty, difficulties caused, and how this impacted your performance. You might then go on to speculate on how you could overcome this problem in a similar situation in the future. The uncertainty we encountered was after 3 months of selling successfully, our advertisement ran out and our sales dramatically dropped the following month. This meant we had less orders, so the number of components we were buying also dropped. As a result, we no longer had the bulk discount with our supplier, thus our gross profit shrank. So even though we were selling a lot of products, our break-even point was now much higher, causing us to turn over much less than we had predicted. To deal with this uncertainty, we ran more advertisement and increased the hours we were personally selling by using a sector phone book of potential customers. This worked and we now avoided big losses. After running the advertisement for longer, we were selling so many products that we changed our supplier again and obtained an even better deal for each component, maximising our profits. The fourth question was, choose 2 things you have learned about managing a business and say why these may contribute to effective management. The first thing I learned about managing a business by using SimVenture was how important advertisement is. When we were running adverts, we were selling large volumes of product. However, when that stopped, we ran into problems. After this happened to our business, we all agreed that we would continuously run advertisement in order to keep our orders high, allowing us to buy more components at a lower cost. As a result, our profit margins were better, and we quickly regained the cash that we spent on advertisement. The second thing I learned while practicing SimVenture was how much more market reach a distributor can give you. By outsourcing production to reduce our hours spent on producing the computers, we could sell large amounts of product to the distributor. It was at a lower margin, but in larger quantities, and we were still generating extra profit because of it, on top of the computers we were selling personally at full price. The final question was, choose 2 things you have learned about the difficulties of working in a group, and say how these add to uncertainties. One of the problems that we encountered was one of our team members occasionally showed up late to our meetings. This caused us to have less time to actually run the simulator each meeting, as we didn't want to start without them in case they disagreed with a decision made. Because of this, our progress was slowed and we had to meet more than we should have. This didn't massively add to our uncertainty, however it did cause friction in the group. The second difficulty we had was sometimes the decision-making process took far too long because everybody had a different opinion. The process could have been easier if one of my team members had been more open-minded to new ideas. This did add to uncertainty because sometimes not all team members were 100% on board with an idea, which slightly lowered our morale. However, on the whole, we worked well as a team and were able to achieve good profits and learned to communicate better with each other by the end of the task.